evening, everybody. I am fresh out of an East Grinstead Town Council meeting, and I wanted to bring you an update and some news as to how it went. For those of you who haven't been following what's been going on, earlier this year, I raised some concerns with the council about their close relationship to the Church of Scientology. I found out that the mayor and a number of councillors attended their annual IAS event, International Association of Scientologists, which took place in November last year. It's happening again 25th of October this year. But I was concerned about their relationship and asked some questions at a council meeting. A number of you joined me at a council meeting in January, and a number of people went to a council meeting I wasn't even at later in January of this year. There was a whole complaints panel that was held, and that was all because the council refused to publish the public questions section of those meetings that related to questions about Scientology. So I submitted a Freedom of Information Act request and asked for the public questions that were asked at that meeting to be published. That was denied, and the council labelled me a vexatious bully. Now, obviously, that was all handled as part of the complaint, and they uncensored the record. They re-uploaded the meeting to their YouTube channel. However, the Freedom of Information Act request had been denied, so they wouldn't supply all the information that was requested. I took it to the Information Commissioner's office, who recently ruled that my request was not vexatious and ordered the council to hand over the information. They handed over a limited amount of information. I asked for all the emails and communication between East Grinstead Town Council and Scientology, and they handed over some of it, but there's definitely stuff that they haven't given me. I know this because there is one email which makes reference to another email that they didn't provide me. So I'm concerned that they are trying to hide something, or they're not being transparent. And as a public authority, the council are required to be transparent and open and accountable for their actions. So the Information Commissioner ruled that the council had to hand over these documents, and I've taken it back to them. And this was on the agenda for East Grinstead Town Council's meeting today. So I asked a question. This is now the third or fourth council meeting I've ever attended at East Grinstead Town Council. And I thought I'd share with you the response I got to my question. So let's take a look. But firstly, hello to everybody in the chat. We have Kelly BC, A. Jansen, Mrs. J's here, Mark the Dorset SP, Evening Alex, watching as I do the ironing. Got to get those chores done, Mark. I appreciate it. Mark K. London, hi everybody. And we have Paintbox Tunes, hi, hello, and thank you for being a channel member. Power Lies to Paralyze, hi everybody, hi, thank you for joining. If you guys want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee. There's like memberships and subscriptions and stuff, so please consider doing so. But without any further, also make sure you like the video, you subscribe, and you've checked the bell to get notifications when I go live so that you don't miss anything. But before I ramble on too much, let's have a look at the recording from today's council meeting. Now, this is going to be on my YouTube channel shortly. It's currently set to be visible for members because I like to give members something back to say thank you for supporting the channel. So if you're a channel member, you can watch this video in full already. And in the next couple of hours, maybe tomorrow, I will make this video available for everybody because I don't like to exclude people who aren't paying for content. So it's just early access at the moment. But I thought I'd share some of it with you. This is the public questions section. This is when I spoke at the meeting earlier today.
Asking for a question here in the room. No, excellent. Okay, Mr. Barnes-Ross, would you like to ask your question, please?
Yeah, hi. Good to see you all again. Thank you for welcoming me back. With the conclusion of the complaints hearing in May that decided the council was wrong to censor public questions relating to its relationship with the Church of Scientology, and with the Information Commissioner now ruling that my Freedom of Information Act request was not vexatious, will the council now apologise for its handling of the situation, its treatment of survivors of abuse of Scientology, and for its statement characterising me as a vexatious bully? So I personally think that that was quite a reasonable question to ask. The Information Commissioner ruled that my request was not vexatious. Will the council now apologise for calling me a vexatious bully, now that it has been decided that I was not a vexatious bully? And interestingly, sat in the room, the only other person who was there in the public gallery, apart from myself and one other on Zoom, Liz Osterman was sat there. You can actually see her in the background here, sat there watching this meeting. She is the PPRO UK, which is basically one of the public relations officials, one of the OSA operatives at St Hill. She's responsible for safe pointing and ensuring the council are kept on a tight leash and they have a good relationship with the council so that things like this get shot down. It's notable that she is the only person, other than myself and one person on Zoom, that is attending this meeting. And she used to go to every council meeting she possibly can. She hasn't been seen for a little while, so it's interesting to see that she's back, but not a surprise considering the Scientology issue was on the agenda. So let's have a look at the response from Steve Odie, who is now the mayor of East Grinstead.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And thank you for the question. In answer to that, the ICO haven't instructed us to issue an apology. So if there's any other queries with that, then I believe you are also waiting for another response from the ICO request. So we'll wait for that to come through, if that's okay.
So you won't issue an apology just because the ICO haven't told you to? Is that what you're saying?
Well, actually, there's no right to reply. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Can we put Mr. Barnes on mute?
Yeah. So essentially, the council said, no, we're not going to apologise because we've not been told to. Now, the Information Commissioner's Office deals with information, Freedom of Information Act requests and things like that. It's not the ICO's position to enforce a council to apologise for its behaviour and its actions. So the ICO is not going to tell East Grinstead Town Council to apologise for its behaviour and for calling me a vexatious bully, when the vexatious bully comment was in a statement that the East Grinstead Town Council published that wasn't actually part of the FOI. It was a separate statement that they issued and in an email that was sent to all councillors. So the ICO is not going to tell East Grinstead Town Council to apologise. And their defence that we've not been told to is quite honestly depressing and shocking. And I think it's quite worrying, in fact, because the council have misbehaved here. They have shut down protesters. They've shut down victims of abuse and told us to be silent, to stop talking about this on social media. They have labelled a member of the public a bully. That has been overturned with the ICO saying, look, it's not a vexatious request. And yet the council won't apologise. And my only question is why? It's a very simple thing to do, to put your hands up and say, we're sorry, we got it wrong, you were right, and we didn't handle the situation in the best manner. And it's not just me kicking up a fuss. This whole issue was featured on a double-page spread of the Daily Mail earlier this year in April. The Daily Mail is the largest, most read newspaper media organisation on planet Earth. If they are covering something, it's likely because there's a public interest in this matter. So the fact that the council are refusing to stay accountable, which they need to do as a public authority, is shocking. So I'm going to continue pushing for an apology. I am continuing to meet with officials about this. The Information Commissioner's Office have said that it should be a matter for the High Court if they don't comply with the FOI request. I'm waiting to hear back from them in response to my request for the full amount of information, because, as I said, they referenced in an email another document that they haven't supplied. East Grinstead Town Council can, very within their rights, decline to hand information over for whatever reason. They can say that it's not in the public interest, or they could say that, national security, or whatever it is. There are a number of exemptions to the FOI Act. And East Grinstead Town Council could say, we're not going to hand this document over to you because of X, Y, and Z. But they haven't done that. And when I asked them to hand over the document that is referenced in the email they gave me, they didn't even provide a reason. They just said, we've given you everything. So it'll be interesting to see what the Information Commissioner responds with and whether it will end up in the High Court. But this is all happening alongside the Mid-Sussex District Council issue that I'm dealing with, where Scientology are requesting for an exclusion zone to be put in place around St. Hill, which would make it illegal to protest at this year's IAS event on October 25th. So I'm definitely have my hands full. I'm definitely very busy at the moment, but I will continue fighting for our freedom of speech, for our right to protest, and fighting for accountability at the local government level. You have to remember that Scientology policy is to bring people under their control. The policy called the Safe Point is what directs their relationship and how they manage relationships with local government officials and opinion leaders and decision makers. And the policy says to infiltrate these organizations and bring them under their control. So Scientology are directly attempting to influence council decisions. And I can't say whether they have or they have not, but I think it's very telling to see Liz Osterman, the person responsible for implementing this policy, in the room, and noted in maybe it's a coincidence or maybe it's an indicator that they have been infiltrated or influenced in some way, the fact that the council refused to apologize to an ex-Scientologist. I wouldn't be surprised if Liz Osterman is whispering in the mayor's ear, telling him sorts of lies and information about me being an ex-Scientologist and a religious bigot and all these sorts of things, which is why I should be shut down. I really wouldn't be surprised if that is going on. And it is just shameful that a council will not be accountable and transparent with the way they are operating and their behaviors around the world's most controversial religious organization. There are dozens and dozens of newspaper articles, documentaries, books that have been written about Scientology's controversial practices. And there are a number of ex-Scientologists, such as myself, speaking out on YouTube and online about the abuses that we suffered inside the organization. I am not trying to harass or intimidate the council. I'm not trying to waste their time. I'm simply asking for an apology for their behavior and their attempts to silence us as victims of abuse, and their behavior for calling me a bully when the Information Commissioner has ruled that that is not the case. That's all I want. It's an apology. It's very easy and simple for them to do. Why they won't do it, who knows? But thank you so much, guys, for joining. Let's have a little look at the comments here. Paintbox Tunes, the council needs to learn to play nice. Exactly. And they have invested thousands of pounds of taxpayers' money into seeking legal advice on how to deal with this issue. That legal advice turned out to be bad because the Information Commissioner came back and said you need to hand over the goods. So they're wasting taxpayers' money and taxpayers, the time of the councils that is being the councillors, which is being paid by the taxpayer. It's all being wasted. And all they need to do is apologize, which will take 10 minutes to draft a statement and publish it on their website and send it to me saying, we're sorry for our attempts to silence victims of abuse, and we should have handled this better. We take your feedback on board and we will consider it going forward. That's all I'm asking for. That's all they need to do. Doesn't take long, doesn't take a lot of effort, but for some reason, they're just unable to do that. Terry Ray is here. Hi, Alex. I'm 5 minutes behind, catching up at 1.5 speed. Thank you for joining. Good to see you here. Haven't seen you around for a while. I hope you are doing okay. And thank you for your continued support of the channel. I really appreciate it. Sarah Lane here says, hi, Apostate Alex. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can all still protest at the end of the month. Well, fingers crossed. Scientology are certainly doing everything they possibly can to shut us down and implement this public spaces protection order around St. Hill. And it has gone legal. I had a conversation with my lawyer earlier today after receiving an email from Graham Wilson, who is the head of OSA, Scientology's Office of Special Affairs today, which was sent to the council with me in CC, essentially refusing to engage in communication with me and riddled with a number of lies and falsehoods, and statements that are just factually untrue about the protests that occurred last year. So I'm in talks with my lawyer, and I will respond to the council and to Scientology's email in due course. I will share that with you guys when I can, but please understand this is an ongoing issue. It's legal, so I just have to be careful about how I'm handling it in the public realm. However, I do want to reassure everybody that as part of this public spaces protection order, there will be a public consultation period. At the moment, that is scheduled to happen after the protest. November, December, I believe, is the timeline that Mid Sussex have set out. However, they haven't confirmed that that is exactly what they're going to do, and they haven't confirmed dates yet. As soon as I know, I will share that with you. But the council will be seeking to liaise with and talk to protesters and people who have an interest in the matter. So when they announce that that public consultation period has started, I will of course announce it on my channel, and any of you, wherever you are in the world, who have an interest in this protest movement, can get involved and can contact the council. There will be a dedicated email address and such that you can use. So I'll share that with you when that comes. But in the meantime, if you want to support my activities and the activism I'm doing, like I said earlier, please just share this video, comment on social media, share this far and wide. The more people that hear about this, the more likely we are to get some traction with the press and with the media, and the more likely we are to reach people currently in Scientology, which is who we're trying to reach. We're trying to advise them that there are resources available and there's a community here to support them if they choose to leave. We want the abuse in Scientology to stop, and I'm not going to stop until I'm certain that that abuse has finished. So if you want to support that mission and you want to support what I'm doing over here, please do share this far and wide. If you want to support financially, buy me a coffee, PayPal, all that stuff below will help. I have cancelled my premium StreamYard subscription today, which you can tell by the little duck in the corner, because I am trying to put every penny that I have into the protest and protecting our rights and the public spaces protection order and fighting for our freedom to speak and our freedom to protest. So please excuse the logo in the corner. You may not see it you may see it there for a little while, and my streams won't be as high quality as they normally are because of the restrictions StreamYard impose. That is because I need to redirect all the funds that I have, the limited funds that is, towards this movement. So if you want to support, please do consider buying me a coffee. CO Bilf is in the house. Boo Council, Viva Alex, thank you so much. Hayley Cook, keep up the great work, Alex. Well, thank you. I will try and do my best. RobuTube1 says, sorry seems to be the hardest word. Exactly. And considering the clerk, basically the CEO of the council, has now left her position and they are hiring a new clerk, the mayor has changed. There's a new mayor in East Grinstead and a councillor has resigned, all during the space of this issue being ongoing. You would have thought the council would have learned a lesson and realised that perhaps their actions are worthy of an apology. Scientology up north. Hey, Miriam in Denmark. Thank you so much for joining. You say Scientology only knows how to manipulate and lie. Precisely. And good idea. Let's go global. We are also encouraging everyone to email Danish politicians to investigate Scientology's abuses. 100%. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Scientology Up North, please do so. It's an amazing protest channel over in Denmark that are doing great work in Europe with regard to Scientology abuses over there. So please go and show Miriam some support. But guys, that's it from me. I'll keep you in the loop. I will continue fighting and doing what I can. I appreciate all of your support so far. And as always, I'm on more footing and I'm not fucking about.